Every morning you wake up, you're given one of the most powerful gifts life can offer, a clean slate. But most people waste it. They roll over, grab their phones, and scroll through everyone else's lives before they've even connected with their own. That first hour, it sets the tone for everything. Your mindset, your energy, your focus. If you don't own your morning, the world will. And if you let the world own your mind before you do, you've already lost. You've got to understand something. Your mind is most vulnerable when you wake up. It's open, it's quiet, it's listening. And what you feed it in that silence, that becomes your internal script for the day. So if the first thing you see is someone else's success, someone else's highlight reel, or some negativity from the news, you're already starting from behind. You've already told your mind that everything out there matters more than what's inside you. But if you want to change your life, if you really want to become the person you say you want to be, that has to stop. Today, start by owning that moment. Before you reach for your phone, before you let anyone else's voice in, listen to your own. Sit in silence, even if it's just for a minute. Feel your breath. Think about who you want to be, not in 5 years, but today, because change doesn't happen in the future. It happens in the present. The person you dream of becoming is only created through the choices you make every single morning. And when you learn to treat each morning like a training ground for your mind, your discipline, your peace, everything begins to shift. The most successful people in the world don't stumble into greatness by accident. They engineer it, and they start by mastering their mornings. Not with some complicated routine, but with consistency. You don't need to meditate for an hour or write a novel before breakfast. You just need to win those first few moments. Replace the noise with intention. Replace the autopilot with awareness. Speak something powerful into your life. Even if you don't fully believe it yet. Say it out loud. I'm focused, I'm disciplined. I'm becoming the person I was meant to be. Every day say it. Every day, believe it a little more. And look, this isn't about perfection. You'll slip. Some mornings will feel heavy. You'll want to quit, to stay in bed, to check out. But those are the mornings that matter most, because that's where the real growth lives, in the resistance. If you can rise and stay consistent when it's uncomfortable, when no one is watching, when motivation is nowhere to be found, that's when you start becoming unshakable. That's when the life you want starts to respond to you differently. You're not just waking up, you're waking up to your power. Every single day. And if you think these little actions don't matter, you've been lied to. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you keep hitting snooze on your alarm, you'll keep hitting snooze on your potential. If you keep filling your mind with junk, you'll keep living a life that feels empty. But if you choose to own the start of your day, even with something as simple as a deep breath, a few words of gratitude, a single step in the right direction, you're training yourself to take ownership of your entire life. You don't need to see results right away. That's not how transformation works. It's slow, it's silent, it's daily. The world won't notice at first, but you will. You'll feel it in how you handle stress, in how you treat people, in how you carry yourself. The change might be invisible to others for a while, but you'll feel it. You'll know you're becoming stronger. And here's what most people don't realize. It's not about doing something big one time. It's about doing something small, repeatedly, with purpose. That's how greatness is built. Not in the loud moments, but in the quiet ones. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. That's why what you do every morning matters more than anything else, because that's where your real power is. In the unseen, uncelebrated decisions you make when no one's clapping for you. So if you want to change your life, stop waiting for the big moment. Stop hoping for something to happen to you. Start doing something with you. Start by waking up with intention. Start by feeding your mind something powerful. Start by looking in the mirror and seeing not who you are, but who you're becoming. Because once you win the morning, you start winning your life. Most people don't realize how powerful their words really are. They think talking is just talking, vents, jokes, complaints, small talk. But your words are more than sounds. They're seeds. And every day, with every sentence, you're planting something into your future. The problem is most people speak like they're powerless, then wonder why their life feels stuck. They speak defeat and expect victory. They speak fear and hope for peace. It doesn't work like that. If you walk around saying things like, "I'm always tired. Nothing works out for me. I just can't focus," what do you think your mind does with that? It believes you. And not because it's weak, but because it trusts you. Your subconscious is always listening, always taking notes. It doesn't question what's true. It accepts what's repeated. So if you keep saying the wrong things, you're programming yourself to live a life that's beneath your potential. That's not just careless, that's dangerous. You've got to be intentional with your mouth. Your words should never work against your future. They should build it, protect it, sharpen it. And that starts by becoming hyper-aware of the language you use. Not just around other people, but especially when you talk to yourself. Because the most important conversations in your life will always be the ones no one hears. The truth is, most of us were never taught how to speak life into ourselves. We learned how to be humble, how to downplay our gifts, how to apologize for wanting more. And over time, that becomes our script. So even when something good happens, we say things like, "It's not a big deal," or "I'm not that smart," or "I just got lucky." Do you see how that steals your power? How that trains your brain to shrink every time you should be stepping up? You've got to flip that. Every single day, you need to be your own loudest voice. Not in an arrogant way, in an honest way. In a way that speaks to the version of you you're trying to become. Speak like someone who's going somewhere. Speak like someone who's already halfway there. "I'm focused, I'm grounded, I don't chase chaos, I protect my peace." Say it until you believe it. Say it even when you don't. Because repetition rewires identity. Now listen, this isn't about pretending. This isn't about walking around in some fake positivity bubble. Life is hard. You're going to get hit with doubt, setbacks, losses. But that's exactly when your words matter most. When you're in the dark, when things feel heavy, that's when your mouth becomes your first weapon. Not to fight other people, to fight the lies in your own head. You can't always control what shows up in your life, but you can always control how you speak about it. You can always choose to say, "I'm learning," instead of "I'm failing." You can always choose, "This is making me stronger," instead of, "Why does this always happen to me?" That small shift, it's everything. Because it takes you out of the victim seat and puts you back in charge. It reminds your mind, "I'm not done yet." And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to speak. It's to stay silent. Protect your energy. Stop explaining yourself to people who aren't even trying to understand. Not everyone deserves access to your process. Not everyone needs to know your next move. There is strength in silence. There is wisdom in not responding. Every reaction doesn't need a reply. Every insult doesn't need a defense. Your peace is too expensive to be spent on petty things. Start moving like your words matter, because they do. What you speak is what you attract. What you speak is what you become. The more you say it, the more real it gets. And this isn't just mindset. This is muscle. You train it. You fail at it. You show up again. But over time it becomes natural. You'll catch yourself before you speak something weak. You'll start correcting your own self-talk. You'll stop joking about your flaws like they're permanent. Because deep down you know they're not. Everything you're building right now, every dream, every goal, it all starts with how you speak. That's where the momentum begins. That's where the change takes root. So be ruthless with your words. Be disciplined with your tongue. Use it to bless your path, not block it. Because when you learn to speak like someone who values their future, the world starts to respond like it values you too. Every time you open your mouth, ask yourself, am I planting something I want to grow? Most people spend their entire lives distracted by noise, by opinions, by chasing things that don't actually move them forward. And they wonder why they feel lost, why they feel stuck. It's because their attention is scattered. Their Energy is leaking in every direction. They're focused on everything except themselves. And here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. If you keep focusing on everything out there, you will never build anything in here. Growth doesn't happen in the noise. It happens in the quiet. It happens when you turn inward. Block out the distractions and get serious about becoming who you were meant to be. When you really commit to focusing on yourself, people might not understand it. They might say you've changed. They might call you selfish, distant, cold. Let them talk. Because this isn't about proving anything to them. It's about finally showing up for yourself. Most people live reactive lives. They wake up and let the day decide who they are. They let notifications, drama, and comparison run their mind. But you've got to live a deliberate life. One where your time, your attention, your growth, it's all protected. Focusing on yourself isn't about shutting people out. It's about filtering what gets in. It's about knowing that not every relationship deserves your time. Not every conversation is worth your energy. Not every opportunity is aligned with your path. And when you learn to say no to what doesn't build you, you make space for what does. You stop being busy and start being intentional. You stop chasing validation and start cultivating self-respect. But here's the thing. Focusing on yourself is not always fun. It's not always exciting. It's not glamorous. In fact, most of the time it's lonely. It's doing the work when no one's clapping. It's saying no to quick pleasure so you can build long-term purpose. It's leaving places that once felt comfortable because you know they no longer serve your vision. And that's hard. But it's also where the real strength lives, in the discipline to walk alone when necessary, in the patience to grow without applause, in the courage to prioritize yourself even when no one understands why. Some people will never get it. That's okay. They don't need to. You're not here to be understood. You're here to evolve. And evolution always requires separation. It means pulling back from things that used to distract you. It means waking up early, studying yourself, building better habits, cutting off negative influences, and doing the work over and over again until the life you want starts to show up. Not because someone handed it to you, but because you earned it. And let's be real, it takes time. You're not going to master your mindset in a week. You're not going to feel powerful every day. But if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing growth over comfort, if you keep putting energy into your own development, something shifts. You stop needing to be seen. You stop needing permission. You stop needing to explain your journey to people who are still avoiding theirs. The more you focus on yourself, the clearer your path becomes. You stop moving aimlessly and start moving with intention. You start noticing how much time you used to waste on gossip, comparison, trying to impress people who don't even know who they are. And instead you begin using that time to build, to read, to train, to rest, to journal, to think, to heal. That's the work. That's the investment that pays you back in clarity and confidence and control. But make no mistake, Thunder, this isn't about perfection. You'll slip up. You'll fall back into old patterns. You'll doubt yourself. That's part of the process. What matters is that you keep returning to yourself. Keep asking, what do I need to grow? What no longer serves me? Where am I leaking energy? These questions keep you grounded. They keep you honest. And over time, they shape a life that reflects who you really are, not who the world told you to be. You see, the world is loud. It'll try to pull you in every direction. But your power is in your focus, your edge is in your discipline, your peace is in your boundaries. When you protect your focus, you protect your future. So don't be afraid to unplug. Don't be afraid to disappear for a while. Don't be afraid to say, I'm working on me, because the people who truly get it, they'll respect that. And the ones who don't, they were never meant to go where you're headed anyway. At the end of the day, your life is your responsibility, not your parents', not your friends', not society's, yours. And the more you put your attention back where it belongs, not on the noise, not on the past, not on other people's timelines, but on you, the faster you'll grow into the version of yourself that's been waiting to emerge. You can't evolve if you're always distracted. You've probably heard the phrase, Small steps lead to big changes. But the truth is, most people ignore the small steps. They wait for some massive breakthrough, some perfect timing, some sudden wave of motivation to finally take action. And that's why they stay stuck. Because real change doesn't come from one big move. It comes from the quiet, consistent decisions you make every single day, especially when no one's watching. That's where transformation lives. In the daily habits, in the tiny choices, in the decision to get up when it's easier to stay down, in choosing discipline over comfort, in doing the uncomfortable thing one more time even when it feels pointless. That's the stuff that shapes you. That's the stuff that rewires your identity. You don't wake up with self-belief. You build it. You don't get handed resilience, you earn it. Every rep, every effort, every moment you choose your future over your feelings. That's progress. But the problem is, people underestimate the small things. They think if it's not flashy, it's not working. If it doesn't go viral, it doesn't count. If it's not perfect, it's not worth starting. And that kind of mindset is a trap. It keeps people overthinking, waiting, doubting. Meanwhile, the life they want is sitting on the other side of showing up anyway. Even when it's messy, even when it's slow, even when no one's clapping. Because this isn't about speed. This is about direction. And if you're taking one small step in the right direction every day, you are winning. Don't let anyone tell you different. You don't have to move fast. You just have to move forward. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Read one page. Say no to one distraction. Go to the gym, even if it's just for 20 minutes. Journal your thoughts instead of scrolling. These don't seem like game changers, but stack them up over 30, 60, 90 days, and you've completely shifted your mindset, your energy, your trajectory. You want to know who's dangerous? Not the loudest person in the room. Not the one always talking about goals. The dangerous one is the person who stays quiet and just keeps showing up. The one who stacks habits day by day until the life they dreamed about starts becoming their reality. That's real power. Not hype. Not talk. Just consistent, disciplined action. Quietly, relentlessly. And the beautiful thing is, it's available to anyone. You don't need a perfect background. You don't need to wait for January 1st. You don't need 100 steps planned out. You just need to do one thing today that's better than what you did yesterday, and do it again tomorrow. That's how you shift your identity from I wish to I'm becoming. But be warned, your old self will fight back. It'll whisper that it's not worth it, that it's too late, that you're not capable. And that's when you double down on your habits. That's when you remind yourself, I don't need to be motivated. I just need to be consistent. You don't rise when you feel like it. You rise when you choose to do the work anyway, especially when it's hard, especially when it's boring. That's what separates the average from the unstoppable. Let me tell you something, success is not sexy. It's not always exciting. It's waking up and doing the same hard things over and over again because you refuse to stay where you are. It's getting crystal clear on who you want to become and refusing to let your current circumstances talk you out of that vision. Some days you'll feel like you're not making progress, but you are. Because every time you say no to the old version of you, you're casting a vote for the new one, and over time those votes add up. One workout doesn't change your body, but 50 does. One day of discipline won't change your life, but 90 days of stacking small wins, that's unstoppable momentum. That's how you look up 6 months from now and barely recognize yourself, in the best way possible. Not because you did something extraordinary, but because you stopped giving up on the ordinary. So start small, but start with fire. Don't wait to feel ready. Just move. And trust that every small action, every micro decision is laying bricks toward the future you keep dreaming about. The gap between the life you have and the life you want? It's built with daily decisions. Keep stacking. Keep showing up. Keep the promises you make to yourself no matter how small they seem. Because when it all adds up, you won't just have changed your habits, you'll have changed your life. Greatness isn't about what you do occasionally. It's about what you repeat.